back. Recently, the Dangote Refinery and the Pengasin have been engaged in a battle of supremacy, if you ask me. And the federal government has been able to wade into the crisis. And last week, they were able to suspend, the strike. But let's ask from Mani Yakubu, who is, an analyst and also a stakeholder here. What do you make of all of this?
Well, good morning, and good morning, viewers. Honestly, my take on this, the issue between the Pangason and that of Nupeng and Dangote Refinery, to me, honestly, is actually uncalled for, because Dangote Refinery is a private firm, and of course, if I open my company, I have the right to determine and also dictate of how I'm going to operate my company as I adopted the policy of my company. So, as far as I'm concerned, what the what the Nupeng and that of Pengasons are doing, I can categorically tell you that it's like an economic saboteur, but not for Dangote, but the entire Nigerian populace.
But workers have a right to join union. They have a right to join associations.
Yes, the Constitution of Nigeria permits every Nigerian free of association. You are free to join association of your choice. But as well, the Constitution also gives me the right as an executive or chief executive officer of my company to enforce policy of my company. It is left for you, be my employee, yes, of course, as the case may be, if you can be able to, adopt or obey my policy or otherwise. If you cannot be able to obey, then you go, because I also, in as much as you have your rights for freedom of association, but you cannot also infringe into my own rights. Where your right stops, that's where someone else continue.
Okay, I will allow the ladies in the house to also ask. Yes.
Okay, so my main concern during the fracas between the Dangote and Pengasan was I learned that some Nigerians were sacked from
the workers.
The workers were sacked, about 800 and something workers. So if this can be done, why can't Dangote, in his own part, which we are all acknowledging the fact that he has a right to who he wants in his firm as a private entity, but would it be better he spelled it out in the appointment letters before now, so that you know when you're coming into a place, okay, this cannot happen in so place. If you accept it before you put down your acceptance letter.
Male Yakubu, can you hear us?
Of course I can.
Yes.
I'm very much with you.
Okay, so she's asking that if the 800 if the letter spell out strictly that you are not joining any union. In fact, we don't have any of them here, so we won't know what the letters say.
Well, like you said, I don't also have the copy of the employment letter from the Dangote and the employees. But like as I said earlier, I got a very hearsay, but this is radio or television station, so we cannot go on hearsay. But as a matter of fact, like as I stated earlier, the Dangote Refinery is a private firm. He spent his billions of dollars to invest and develop and construct that refinery. And you cannot as well, if you are in Dangote shoes, you cannot invest such amount of dollars and as well allows people to sabotage or dictate how you are going to operate your company under the guise of any union, as the case may be.
Yes. Okay. Now Dangote is saying that he's offering them opportunity in his other companies, the sugar and cement company, but they have to leave. They are not going to come back to the refinery. In some media organization, he's been quoted as saying he's going to pay them 5 years, upward salary. And then here Pengasin is saying last week that we don't know the agreement that was reached between him and the Pengasin, but they are saying that if he renege on any of the agreements, they will come back. The strike will come back. They will come back to call on the strike.
Yeah, Dangote is a private firm, and of course, he knows the implication of shutting down the company. And I'm sure if there is any agreement, a mutual agreement reached between the ministry, the Dangote, and the employees, which is the staff members, about 800, as you mentioned, I believe if such agreement is reached, I'm sure Dangote is going to fulfill that agreement so that it will avert further occurrences, because the strike cannot only affect Dangote Refinery, but it's going to affect the entire country. So I'm sure Dangote will do everything possible to make sure that he meet up any agreement that reached between the federal government and that obviously is representative and the representative of the Pengasin and the Nupen.
In your opinion, or you want to say? Okay.
Basically, not a question. I just want to see if you agree with my position, which is I think that so far, since Dangote began operations, I love what Dangote is doing. And I wish that the government, that's NNPC and Pengasin, would support him. But I see them fighting him from different angles. Now is this unionism, another time it was the pricing, another time they said it was loading. So all of these issues, do you feel it's an attack on what Dangote is doing, which I feel is pro-Nigerian, even if they say he's being monopolistic, but if it's going to solve Nigeria's problems, and I feel that they're not giving him enough support, because they're not even, last week I was reading about aviation fuel being a lot cheaper if they bought from Dangote, but they are not. So I'm wondering, do you think that all of these are just points of sabotage against Dangote, against what he's doing, rather than support him? I've just been wondering, so I wonder what your thoughts are.
First, let me set the record clear. I disagreed with anyone that's claiming to have said Dangote monopolize the system, because the federal government did not say it's only issuing a license to a private refinery for only Dangote. Likewise, the cement and whatever investment or whatever Dangote refinery or Dangote company is engaged into in Nigeria. I am sure if we cannot tell Dangote thank you for being a good patriotic Nigerian by constructing a company in Nigeria that will give that will generate massive employment, I think we cannot also tell him you are not a good man. One. Number two, if you talk about the sabotage, yes, there are a lot of issues surrounding the Dangote when the operation kick off, but I think at this junction now, the Dangote Refinery have settled down for normal business. But I can assure you, and I can tell you my own view, anybody, not only the private or the union, but even the federal government itself, if they are making any attempt or they make any attempt or effort to bring down Dangote Refinery, I can tell you that categorically is a sabotage, it's an attack against the entire Nigerians, because with Dangote Refinery, as time goes on, I'm sure we are going to get the fuel in a very affordable manner.
Okay, as we wrap up on this, the allegation is that we still have cabal, in the oil and gas sector, and this cabal are the ones, dragging every positivity that Nigerians will enjoy. And so going forward, how do we as a people defeat this cabal so that, we can even enjoy the benefits of the fourth largest refinery right here in our domain?
Well, of course, cabal in an oil sector is not only in Nigeria. The cabal of oil sector is international cabal. It's not a locally cabal, but it's an international cabal. So defeating international cabal is not an easy task, but with the way things is going, of course, at the end of the day, we will trump and we'll get it right.
All right. Alhaji Yakubu Aliu, Coordinator 17 Southern State Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Port Harcourt.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. So we have seen the back and forth. A Nigerian came up with an initiative, got money to build a refinery up to is it 19 to 20 billion dollars as of the time that he built that refinery. And here we are, right from the day, the inception, right from the day the refinery announced that it has begun operation. It has been one fight. First it is NNPC, now it is Pengasin. Tomorrow we don't know what happens next. Yesterday I read that he was praising the judiciary, for stepping in, to set the record straight. But from all indication, it means this fight will not stop here. Maybe tomorrow another organization will also accuse him of a monopoly, sabotage, whatever it is. When we invite people, we go outside to invite investors. We tell investors to come and invest in Nigeria. Nigeria is a very, lucrative environment. You make money, but here we are frustrating our own. Doesn't it spell doom for us as a people in terms of attracting investment?
And I don't understand what Pengason is thinking. I feel that Pengason, I grew up hearing about Pengason, Peng and all of that. And I've not seen them fight for Nigerians. I've not seen them make anything live when it comes to petroleum, subsidy, anything petroleum. It hasn't been easy for Nigerians. I remember growing up, and then at some point there were those very long queues that we had to experience in the last 2 years. I thought it was the thing of my parents until I had to experience it. I spent 6 hours, on traffic, trying to buy fuel and all of that. And so if Dangote comes now and builds a refinery and makes us believe that it is possible to, because Dangote, we never thought an individual could do it, but Dangote has done it. Even when one time in Lagos, I went close to the refinery, I saw what had been done. I wasn't sure it was going to happen. But here we are, buying fuel that is, if I may call it, our indigenous fuel. It's all us, refined here, sold to us, and then they are fighting the system. I think that if they had left Dangote, it would even be cheaper than what it is. But then this cabal is trying to control everything. Do they not want life to be easier for Nigerians? And then they are saying, oh, he's monopolizing. How is he monopolizing? I'm happy to read that Boa is also constructing his own. If Dangote had not done it, maybe somebody else would not have seen the possibility. But Dangote has done it. Boa is doing it. It means that the system is opening up to having more. So I feel that they should support Dangote rather than antagonize him the way they're doing right now. Dangote needs more support. I particularly am very thankful to Dangote because he has provided employment. He has provided even hope for some people to see that these things can be done. That's the Nigerian spirit. They can do spirit. We can, we're doing it. Why are we then? And at this point, I want to thank Femi Otedola for standing by his friend. I feel like every time Dangote is entering a tight spot, Femi just comes and does
rescue his friend.
So as a friend, as a business partners, whatever, those people are standing for Nigerians. And like Otedola said during his daughter's wedding, that indeed we are proud and thankful to Dangote and for having Dangote in this as Nigerians and in our country.
Mine will just be an advice to Dangote.
Okay.
Yes, I think he should be spelling it out to them, because if this was addressed from the beginning, I don't think it will be a problem. We are not supporting what Pengasan are doing. Yes, we did. We don't want people to be discouraged by their good art, because to me it's something that if we have more than how many thousand million youths that are unemployed, and then Dangote is coming in picking a a certain percent out of it, then we should applaud the guy for doing what he's doing. So I think where they actually got him is him not spelling it out to them on their appointment letter. So henceforward, he should make a good documentation. Let them sign it themselves before coming in, so that when you're coming in, but this is your document, this is what I said. So you cannot bring what was not from the beginning into it. So he should spell out some conditions to these people before giving them the appointment letters.
And just to build up on your point, he also said there was a statement, that was credited to him. He said, I'm 67 now. I have just 3 years to be 70. I have very little to leave. I'm not going to take the refinery or any investments to my grave. So whatever I have built is for Nigeria and for Nigerians. And I think that message should resonate with all of us. If you are 40 today, in the next 10 years, you are 50. In the next 10 years, you are 60. And before we know it, we're all, getting closer, winding up our lifetime. And so if we have that kind of mindset, whatever we do, it should be for Nigeria and Nigerians. And as a people, we should always rally around. I'm happy that this field is bringing Nigerians together. Nobody is saying Dangote is from the north, or he's a Muslim, or he's a Hausa Fulani. Everybody just see the refinery as a collective enterprise, and everybody wants it to work. And I think that is the message we should all carry along. Whatever it is for our good, we should protect it, because we don't have any other one. If Dangote Refinery had not worked, maybe we would have been buying crude. I mean, we'll be buying petrol.
We're buying more than what we're buying now.
Or 2,000 naira. Yes, because these marketers will just take us for a ride, and they will say today,
you wake
Russia
up with it at 2,000.
Ukraine this morning, and so it has affected OPEC.
And funny enough, there's an engineer that told me that the fuel Dangote is producing is the best.
It's the best, yes.
It's the best. So that gives me that patient that anywhere I see MRS, I can just be patient and get my fuel from them.
And very soon you will take it right to your doorstep, because the 12,000 trucks that he bought was to distribute, fuel across the country, to bring it right to your filling station.
We are praying for you.
So that you don't pay extra, transport costs, because it's just differential. This transport cost from Lagos to Abuja or to Jos is what this dealers will now incorporate into your liter, into my liter, and into everybody's else liter. Yeah, I think, ladies, it has been a very beautiful discussion so far. I'd like to thank you very much for being here, and to say to Kate, thank you. In spite of the fever and the stomach ache, you were very, very vibrant.
It was nice being here.
Yes, and that is the show. We'll see you again next time. From me, it's bye for now.